Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal. As we know, SMCI earnings is due on Tuesday. So earning beat or earning miss can lift or drop SMCI stock and also Nvidia and other AI stocks. In this video, we will evaluate how high or how low SMCI stock can go after earnings for next few weeks. We'll use forward EPS and forward PE for this analysis. So this analysis will help you in making the right decisions to buy or sell. Now, let's get started. You see this table on your screen. This has the financial historical data for SMCI for last 5 quarters. This has revenue, net income, profit margin percentage, gross margin percentage, earning before interest, taxes, and depreciation margin percentage, EPS actual, free cash flow per share, and debt to equity ratio. And also I have column G and column H, that is year over year change and the quarter over quarter change. The year over year means the last quarter versus last year same quarter. And quarter over quarter means last quarter versus the prior quarter before last quarter. So that is column F versus column E. So starting with the revenue, you see revenue is going in the right direction. Year over year growth is 103% and quarter over quarter is 72%. Net income is also going in the right direction. Year over year growth 66% and quarter over quarter is 87%. Profit margin percentage, gross margin percentage, and EBITDA margin percentage, most of them are negative. So quarter over quarter and year over year growth are negative in most cases. So SMCI has to improve the margin percentages. EPS actual going in the right direction, year over year, positive growth, and quarter over quarter also going in the right direction, the positive growth. We'll talk more about EPS in a bit. Free cash flow per share going negative year over year and quarter over quarter. But we should not read too much into it because free cash flow per share has minimal impact on the stock price. The debt to equity ratio is also not going in the right direction, is going up year over year and quarter over quarter. Now let's talk about EPS. So I have this tab. This has the EPS projected and EPS actual for last 6 quarters. In most of the historical quarters, we had earning surprise, positive earning surprise, with the exception of this one. So this means that SMCI is a good history of beating earnings. So we can expect that the earnings due on Tuesday, SMCI can beat the earnings. And also the future earnings going up each quarter, and that's a very good sign. So earning growth is also going in the right direction. And also notice one thing, the last quarter EPS actual was 5.59 and this quarter EPS projected 5.84. So projection is higher than the last quarter actual. That's a very good sign. Because for some companies, I noted that the EPS projection is less than the EPS actual for last quarter. For example, AMD. Now let's talk about forward PE ratio. Now you see this table. This has the EPS forward, EPS trailing 12 months, adjusted close for last 30 days, the P ratio with respect to trailing 12 months EPS, and the P ratio with respect to forward EPS. We also call it forward P ratio. So EPS forward is basically last quarter actuals plus next 3 quarters earning projections. EPS actual is basically last 4 quarters actuals. Now I also have this table. This has the earnings actual and earning projected for last 9 quarters. And also the earnings surprise for all 9 quarters. You see that in all the 9 quarters, with the exception of just 1 quarter, the earnings surprise is positive. And I also have the EPS projection for next 4 quarters. And then I also have the minimum, average, and the maximum earnings surprise for last 12 quarters. For the minimum, I put 0 because there was one earning miss, so I do not want to put a negative value there because that will mess up my calculation when I try to calculate the minimum value for SMCI. Another table I have here, minimum, mean, and the maximum, that contains the minimum, mean, and the maximum forward PE with respect to the new EPS and also with respect to the old EPS. In the old EPS, I'm using last quarter actuals plus next 3 quarters earning projections. And the new EPS formula, I'm using next 4 quarters earning projections. So this gives 28.45 and 30.83. Then I'm using the formula to get the minimum, mean, and the maximum of these two values. Now I'm ready to calculate the minimum, average, and the maximum stock price for SMCI before and after earnings. I already did the calculation and I have these three numbers. Let me go over the formula with you. The minimum, I'm using the EPS forward, that is 25.54, and then I'm multiplying it with the forward P minimum value, that is this guy, and then I'm multiplying it with the earning surprise. In this case, is 0. And that gives 726, the minimum stock price. And for the average, same formula, I'm using EPS forward, and then I'm multiplying it with the average value of the forward PE, and then the third factor is the average earning surprise. So that gives 919 average stock price for SMCI. And finally, maximum. For the maximum, I'm using EPS forward and also the maximum forward PE. This is this one. And also the third factor, the maximum earning surprise. So that gives total 1089, the maximum stock price for SMCI. So we have minimum, average, and the maximum stock price for SMCI before and after earnings. So in my opinion, before the earnings, SMCI should not go below 726. So after earnings, we might see a jump in the stock price because SMCI most likely will be able to beat the earnings. At this point, SMCI is 787, that is below the average stock price. So this looks to me SMCI is little undervalued before the earnings. So after earnings for next few weeks, a week or two, I do not expect SMCI to go above this value. That's all about SMCI projected price range before and after earnings. And also, I'm going to upload this file into my Patreon account. So if you are an exclusive member, you can access this file from there. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.